Hi to all. Today's topic is Prism formula. Prism formula means I am going to derive the refractive index of prism. This is very important for the 5 marks. Okay? You listen very carefully. Let us see here. And now how to derive these all formulas. These formula how to derive that I am going to explain. Listen very carefully. First I will draw the diagram. This is the prism. A, B, C. What is ABC? ABC is a prism. In that, AB and AC are called as refracting surfaces. What is the meaning of refracting surface? Refracting surface means it is a surface. If the light incident on this surface, that light will be undergoes refraction, it will bends. That's why they are called as refracting surfaces. And A is the angle of prism. A is called as angle of prism. Angle of prism means what? Angle between two refracting surfaces. Angle between two refracting surfaces. That is called as angle of prism. And now let us see here, we will take one light ray that is allowed to incident on the prism. Now we will take like this. This is a light ray that is incident on the prism at point P. Okay, and this is the P point and this is the Q point. At Q the light is incidented here. This angle we called as angle of incidence. Angle between the AB and AC is called as angle of prism. Now let us take one light ray, right? And this is incident on the prism. PQ is the incident light ray. I want to know the angle of incidence. For that we have to draw the normal. Right? Let us see here. I am going to draw the normal for the AB surface. Normal means it should make 90 degree with the surface. Right? That means the normal will be like this there. Normal will be like this there. You see here. This is the normal drawn. Normal means what? It is a line. It is perpendicular to the surface. That means this angle should be 90 degree. This angle is 90 degree. And now if there is no change in the medium, the light ray is traveling in the same medium means it will go in the straight line. What is this straight line? This is the actual path of light ray. Right? If there is no change in the medium, the light ray will go in straight line. But due to the change in medium, the light will be bends. Now how it will bends and how it will goes, and whether it will bends towards the normal or away from the normal. This is the blue line is the normal, right? And when the light ray is going like this, it will bends towards the normal. This side it will bends. Right? Why it is bends towards the normal? Because it is moving from rarer medium to denser medium. Right? Glass is the prism is made with the glass. Okay, crown or flint glass. So it is placed in the air. Then that's why the light is traveling from air to glass. This is a rarer to denser. Then that's why it will bend towards the normal. It will bend this side. This is the normal towards normal. This is actual path. From actual path it will bend, right? And it will travel like this. Okay, right. This angle of incidence at here, we can consider the angle of incidence. What is angle of incidence? Angle between the incident light ray and normal drawn. This is called as angle of incidence. That we can consider as I1. What is I1? Angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. Okay, right. And now after coming to this point, here it will be refracts. This is the QR is the refractor light ray and this is the normal drawn. This angle we can consider as the R1. R1. Okay, this angle is R1. And when this is r1, what about this? And this is straight line, and this red line is also straight line. Here angle is I1, means this total angle should be I1. When this total angle is I1, this lower part is R1, then upper part should be total minus this. You have to remove this part, you will get. That means this is the I1 minus R1 we will get. Now we have to draw the normal at the second surface, right? And now this light ray incident at the second surface, we have to draw the normal at the second surface. Normal means what? It is a line, it is perpendicular to the surface, right? And this we can consider as N1T, okay? And N2T, okay, this is also normal, right? N2T is the normal drawn to the AC surface. Means how much angle it will makes? It makes 90 degree, right? It makes 90 degree with the surface. And now how the light ray will travel at here? Actually the light ray should travel in the straight line if there is no change in the medium. But the medium is changing it here. It is moving from prism glass to air. Then this is the air, right? And now it will bends away from the normal like this. Then finally the emergent light ray will travel like this. This is the emergent light ray, and the emergent light ray is the RS. What is RS at here? What is PQ at here? Okay, RS is the emergent light ray. Angle between the emergent light ray and normal drawn is called as angle of emergence. This is called as angle of emergence. I2 is called as angle of emergence. What is I2? Angle of emergence. Okay, right. And this angle we can consider as R2. This angle we can consider as R2. And now we can do the extension for the emergent light ray in the backward. If there is no prism, light should travel like this. But due to the prism, it is going like this, right? That means due to the prism, light path is changed. Light ray path is changed, right? Actually, it should travel like this. But due to the prism, finally it is going like this. It is deviated from its original path. How much angle it is deviated, that I want to know. For that we have to do the extension in the backward. Okay, we can do the extension at here. Okay, this is the emergent light ray, right? Here this is the angle at which it is touching. And what is this? This is the original path, incident light ray. And this is emergent light ray, right? Actually, due to the prism, the path of the light ray changes from this to this. That means it is deviated by certain angle. And this angle is called as deviation angle. Now here we write this as D. This is the deviation angle. D we can write. Okay, D we can write, or otherwise delta we can write. This is the deviation angle. And when this is the deviation angle, what about this? Right? This total angle is 180, and that's why this angle will become 180 minus D. Okay, 180 minus D. And what about this? This total angle is I2, means this total angle should be I2. Okay, because this is the blue line extension, this is the red line extension. Here total angle is I2, here total angle should be I2. This total angle is I2, this total angle is I2, then this is R2, means this part is I2 minus R2 we will get. This angle is I2 minus R2 we will get. Okay, right. And here I am considering the angle as T. Now here we have to write some terms, that is the R1, R2 are the refracting angles at here. Okay, refracting angles. Okay, and now let us write some more terms at here. What you know that we have to write it here. Yes, can you tell what is PQ? PQ is the incident light ray, right? Incident light ray. What is RS? RS is the emergent light ray. Now let us derive the refractive index formula. For that, what we have to do, how to derive, that I will explain. You listen very carefully, right? And you see this diagram, and this diagram is very important. Everything we have to do based on the diagram only. Okay. Now first of all, let us go for the one quadrilateral. Okay, right, quadrilateral. Actually, we have the formula for the refractive index sin I by sin r. Then we have to derive the formula for the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. For that, there is some procedure is there. Okay, and then I will explain that procedure. You listen very carefully. If you will get any doubt, you can ask me. Let us go for the quadrilateral, right? Okay, let us see this, the quadrilateral. Okay, what is that? A Q T R. Okay, A Q T R A. Okay, it's a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. What you know in quadrilateral? Right? Sum of four angles is equal to 360 degree. This we know. Right? What is this? A. This is Q. This is T. And this is R. Okay. And this angle is angle of prism. This angle is T. What is Q2? QT is perpendicular to AQ. QT is nothing but normal. And AQ. QT is the normal drawn for the AQ. That's why this is 90 degree. Here we write 90 degree. And here also we have to write 90 degree because they are the normals. Then sum of four angles equal to, that is angle at A plus, we write like this, angle at A plus angle at Q plus angle at T plus angle at R is equal to 360 we will get. Okay, you see here, sum of four angles equal to 360 degree. We substitute the angles. What is angle at A? A only. Angle at Q is 90 plus T also 90. Angle at R, angle at T, it is T. Angle at R is 90. Then we will get 360. From this, A plus T is equal to, this is 90 plus 90, 180. 180 goes to right side. 360 minus 180 will get to 180. Okay, right. From this we will get T is equal to 180 minus A. We write this, we can consider as equation 1. Okay, right. Now next we will take one more triangle, that is triangle QTR. How it is there? You see, this is Q, this is T, this is R. This triangle will be like this there. This is, you see here, if in the picture, if the angles are not appearing, I am drawing the enlarged diagram set here. This is the Q, this is R, and this is T. Right? This angle is R1 and this angle is R2 and this angle is T. It's a triangle, right? Okay, and from triangle, okay, QTR. Okay, from triangle QTR, what we write? Sum of three angles equal to, we write 180 degree. From triangle QTR, what we write here? Angle at Q plus angle at T plus angle at R is equal, we write as 180. Sum of three angles is 180. Angle at Q is what at here in the figure? In this triangle, right? And in this triangle, angle at Q is R1 plus T is T only, right? Plus angle at R is R2, that is equal to 180 we write. And now R1 in place of t we write t formula from equation 1, that is 180 minus a plus R2 is equal to 180 we write. This 180 will gets cancelled. Then R1 plus R2 we write here, minus a is equal to 0 we have to write. Then from this we write R1 plus R2 is equal to we write as a. This is equation 2. Okay, and let us take one more triangle here, that is this lower triangle we took, the next upper triangle we have to take, that is triangle QUR. What is this triangle? I think in the QUR triangle these angles are not appearing. This angle is I1 minus R1, this angle is I2 minus R2, this angle is 180 minus D. You see here, I will draw it here, and if it is not appearing there, and you note from here. Okay, and now from triangle what is that? QUR. What we write? Sum of three angles again 180 degree we write. What are the three angles and how the triangle will be there? That I will draw it here. You note it clearly. This is Q, this is U, and this is R. What is the angle at U? That is 180 minus D. The angle at U is 180 minus D. And this angle is I1 minus R1. And this angle is I2 minus R2. I2 minus R2. Sum of these three angles equal to 180 degree. Then what we write here? Angle at Q plus angle at U plus angle at R is equal to 180. Now substitute them. Angle at Q in that triangle is I1 minus R1 plus angle at U is 180 minus D. Angle at R is I2 minus R2. Angle, right? This is not, don't feel like L, it is an angle. And I2 minus R2 is equal, we will get as 180. Now what we have to do, little bit we have to simplify it here. How to simplify this and what we have to do it here for the simplification? You see here, I1, I2 we write one side, I1 plus I2 we will get. Okay, and the next R1, R2, this 180 will get cancelled, and minus R1 minus R2 taken to right side. Then we will get plus R1 plus R2, minus D also taken right side, then plus D we will get. Okay, right. Next step I will write. You take the screenshot and note it. Okay, see here I am going to continue the derivation, and now here I1 minus R1, I1 minus R1, otherwise the next equation already we wrote, that is not appearing. I think I will write that equation, and here what remains? I1 plus I2. This minus R1 minus R2 and minus D we are taken right side, that's why they are become R1 plus R2 plus D we will get. But I1 plus I2 is equal to, we write R1 plus I2 as A from equation 1. This is from equation 1 we know, no, not from equation 1, that is from equation 2, right? From equation 2 we write R1 plus R2 as A, then I1 plus I2 we will get as A plus D. Okay, this is equation 3. What is D in this? D is called as the deviation angle. Deviation angle. What is deviation angle? Angle between what and what? Tell me. Right, angle between incident light ray and emergent light ray. Angle between the incident light ray and emergent light ray, that is called as deviation angle. Now we got this one. Now what we have to do? We have to draw the graph, ID graph, angle of incidence and deviation angle graph. I am going to draw practically. When we draw this graph practically, we observed that by taking the angle of incidence is on x-axis and the deviation angle on y-axis. Now firstly, at the low angle of incidence, deviation angle is more, the deviation angle is decreases. At a particular point it will become minimum and then next again increases. This is the practical observation. Now for certain deviation angle, we have the two corresponding angle of incidences, right? And this is the one angle of incidence, okay, that is I1, and this is the another angle of incidence I2. But there is a one point, okay, and here the deviation angle is minimum. Look at here, for this deviation angle and angle of incidence is only one value, but for others there are two values are there. Okay. Now here this deviation angle at this location, what happens to the deviation angle? Tell me. The deviation angle decrease and become minimum. At this point the deviation angle become minimum. That minimum deviation angle we can consider as delta. And at this point the angle of incidence and angle of emergence are equal. Okay. And the deviation angle is minimum. Okay. Condition for minimum deviation angle. What is the condition? At what point deviation angle is minimum? Condition for minimum deviation angle. From the graph we write the conditions. For the minimum deviation angle, angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. We write I1 is equal to I. Let us take it as I. And when angle of incidence and angle of emergence are equal, automatically angle of refraction equal to angle of refracting angles also equal. Then we write R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R, we have to write. This is the condition, that is I1 is equal to I2 and R1 is equal to R2. This is the condition for the minimum deviation. Then if I1 is equal to I2 and R1 is equal to R2, then what happens? Then deviation angle become minimum. This minimum deviation angle we can consider as delta. What is delta at here? Delta is called as minimum deviation angle. Okay, right. Now we have to substitute these conditions, okay, in equation 2 and equation 3. Okay, the above conditions substituted in equation 1 and equation 2 and equation 3, not 1, equation 2 and equation 3. If we substitute, then what you will get from equation 2, right? From equation 2 we will get this equation. We have R1 plus R2 is equal to A. We write R1 as R, R2 as R. Then what you will get? R plus R is equal to A. We write 2R is equal to A and R is equal to A by 2 we will get. Next continuation, I am going to rub the right side. You take the screenshot and note it. Now we have to write here 2r is equal to a, and r is equal, we will write as a by 2, and this is equation 4. And the next, write the conditions in equation 3 also. From equation 3 what you will get, that is I1 is I. Okay, we have the I1 plus I2 is equal to A plus D. You substitute the conditions at here. What are the conditions? I1, I2 are equal, that we are considering as I, right? I. A plus D become minimum. The minimum deviation angle we can consider as delta. Then we will get 2I is equal to A plus delta. We write I is equal to A plus delta by 2, right? And this is equation 5. I want the refractive index of prism. Refractive index of prism. Then how we will write the refractive index of prism? We know the refractive index of prism is, that is nu is equal to, we have refractive index of prism with respect to medium. Okay. And then for that, nu according to Snell's law we write. Yes, according to Snell's law, what you know, that is nu is equal, we write as sin I by sin R we write. Okay. Now here we write refractive index sin I is what? We got A plus delta by 2, and sin R is what? A by 2. This is the equation 6. This is the formula for the refractive index of prism, right? Refractive index of prism, and this is only called as prism formula. Okay, what is this? This is called as prism formula. This is the derivation for the prism formula. Very important, and you listen very carefully. In this, A is what? A is angle of prism. This angle of prism will be, okay, angle of prism will be 60 degree in case of equilateral prism. Delta is what? Delta is minimum deviation angle. Minimum deviation angle. Okay. Thank you.